I'm Allison June Mabe, Governmental Affairs Program Manager, here with Joe Stewart, Chief Advocacy Officer. We start this week with an update on progress toward enacting a state budget. House and Senate leaders remain optimistic that they're close to resolving the final part of the disagreement, but the Senate Pro Tem Phil Berger says he's not sure that they'll be done in time to meet with the previously announcement June 15th rollout.
Yeah, that's right, Allison June. They had mentioned a few weeks back, the leadership of both the House and the Senate, they felt confident that they could have a package for review of the legislature and a vote by the week of June 15th. Just doesn't look like they're going to make that deadline, but Senator Berger said he felt confident they would be done with the budget by the end of the month.
Got it. Some items of interest taken up by the legislature this week. We have property tax moratorium, a bill on issues important to the North Carolina farmers, and it addresses efforts to eroding shorelines that have resulted in more than 30 homes falling into the ocean in the area around the Outer Banks town of Buxton.
Yeah, just a few things that are right now being discussed and debated. A moratorium on property tax increases in just a few counties of North Carolina. The Farm Bill, which is a big, expansive piece of legislation, wasn't enacted in the long session last year, but includes things like raw milk, the provisions to allow people to purchase milk that's been unpasteurized, and more discussion about what might be necessary on the barrier islands and the Outer Banks to try to put in structures that would keep those houses that have been falling into the ocean around the area of Buxton, try to shore those up. Some concerns about creating those artificial barriers on the coast have an environmental impact, but certainly it's important for insurance reasons for people to know there's a lot of attention being given right now to coastal properties.
Yeah, for sure. Some other items for IANC governmental affairs are tracking.
Yeah, House Bill 315, which is about third-party litigation financing. It's a national initiative of the Big I. The State Chamber of Commerce here has led this initiative. But House Bill 315, which eliminates the provision that people can invest in lawsuits on the plaintiff's side to try to make money on these settlements come out of civil actions. That passed both the House and Senate overwhelmingly, off to the governor for his signature this week. House Bill 1199, which deals with the ignition interlock devices and a device that can be put on a car for chronic high-speed offenders, something we supported not only through IIANC, but the North Carolina Alliance for Safe Transportation, we think helps make the roadways safer by getting at drivers that have exhibited bad behaviors behind the wheel. And then House Bill 356, which passed out of the Senate Commerce and Insurance Committee last week, now heads off to the Senate Finance and Judiciary Committees probably next week. That contains the provisions on certificates of insurance and the replacement cost estimators that we've talked about before.
Yeah. This week we also had a departure.
Yeah, State Representative Sarah Stevens, who represents Surry and Wilkes County, is a candidate for the state Supreme Court. She's challenging the incumbent Democrat Anita Earls, and decided to leave the state house next week, effective next week, to commit full time to her campaign for the state Supreme Court race. That's the only state Supreme Court race on the ballot this year. Currently, of the 7 justices on the state Supreme Court, 5 are Republicans and 2 are Democrats. So the partisan balance of control of our state Supreme Court is not in question with this race, but it is considered to be a hotly contested judicial race in the fall. And so I think Representative Stevens wanted to get right on campaigning.
All right, yeah, for sure. Finally, Monday was our inaugural IIANC Chairman's Cup golf tournament. It was great weather. There was more than 150 golfers and sponsor representatives at McGregor Downs Country Club in Cary.
Yeah, this is the first time we put out that we were looking for support for the IIANC Action Fund, which is an initiative to provide resources for various governmental affairs programs that we have that support our legislative agenda for IIANC members. It helps with public communication, polling, things that go into making a case for a particular issue. And so we asked for the sponsors to be supportive of the Action Fund, and they responded. A great event. We hope to continue this tradition on now. First year we did it, but it was a great success. And thank you for all your hard work on it, Allison.
Of course. Next on this week's iHill Minute, we have IIANC member and Senate Healthcare Committee Chair, Senator Jim Bergen. He'll talk about the legislation that he presented this week.
I'm with IIANC member Jim Bergen, state senator and a chair of the Senate Healthcare Committee. Senator, you just ran a bill in the Senate Healthcare Committee. It deals with this issue of consolidation in the healthcare industry. Talk a little bit about what your bill does.
Well, the bill sets up a committee that would review any consolidation of hospitals in the state of North Carolina. It would be made up of the Attorney General. Originally, I was going to have the Treasurer on there and the State Auditor. The Treasurer feels like he would be conflicted because of the state health plan being the largest health plan in the state. So instead, I replaced him with the Commissioner of Labor and I'm contemplating putting the Commissioner of Insurance on it. But this group will review any acquisition or merger of any hospital to make sure that the price is right, that it's going to actually improve services, not reduce services, and it's going to be good for the public.
What are the prospects of the bill going forward?
Well, we pulled that section. It had some other things that I am moving forward with, and then I added an amendment. So right now we're going to put the hospital consolidation group on hold.
Senator, what happens next with this bill?
Well, I'm hoping that we move it to the floor next week and vote on it. But the part that's going to move forward is going to be the non-compete for the physicians. It removes non-compete for them. It provides whistleblower protection, and it also removes the treasurer from CON law in North Carolina.
Senator, I know you're headed into session, so thank you so much for taking this time to be on the iHeal Minute.
Always a pleasure.